firing from a bike.
Firing from a bike. You're pedaling on a bike. You got an AK.
Deal with it.
You know, just another day in Chernarus, really. Squad stream on DayZ Standalone. Yeah, as soon as we're allowed to stream it, guys, we're definitely going to stream it. Absolutely. You know that's going to happen. Can I give Rocket mods so you can see him better? Yes, sorry. Very, very sorry. I'm so involved in IRC right now that I don't have my Twitch window open for it. It's in a very dicey state, but it's also a very exciting state. Well, I can imagine. Honestly, I don't know how you guys can go through the day. Like, it just must suck to feel like there's not enough hours in the day, and you start getting into something, you start programming something, and then it's like, oh, it's 4 in the morning, and I have to go home, or whatever. I know that feeling of frustration. Like, there's just not enough time to do everything you want to do, and, like, you know, it just must be so precarious to have to balance muffins to have to balance between like making sure you get enough sleep and keeping yourself sane, making sure that you actually leave the office every so often or play a game to keep yourself like grounded. It's pretty frustrating. I want to work on it all the time, and I want everyone else to as well. I'm not a great deal of fun to work with at the moment. Well, you're in that last stage right now, and I think everybody can understand that. Like, you know, there's only so much that you can get everyone to do and that you can do, but at the same time you can't be nice about it. Sometimes you just have to crack the whip. Like I have to do with these guys. Aw, Matt the suck up. You guys should think about getting sponsorship from energy drinks and stuff like that. I think that gamers should seriously be the platform for the energy drink franchise. It should just be, everybody should have sponsorship. It should be great for you, because then you can just stay up all the time. When do you estimate to launch the first sold version of the game? That's kind of a hard question for him to answer. I don't even, like, I know Rocket's probably getting bombarded with that particular question all the time, is when is it going to be released? And to be honest, like, we can't expect him to give us an answer if he's not going to... It's just too hard. It's too hard to say when that's going to happen. Because we have to keep in mind that, like, if we keep forcing them to release it as soon as possible, then there's going to be things that are left incomplete. It's really hard for me to articulate, but I totally understand why. Like, you give a tentative date and then you kind of need to push that back, and then you give another tentative date and you kind of need to push that back. That's just the unfortunate reality of creative projects. That's just how it is. Yeah, you've only had 3 energy drinks so far, Fred? You are slacking. Streaming is a big part of DayZ's success. It's really cool that you recognize that.
Standalone stream proof.
Make the standalone stream proof. That's the one thing that these guys have always been saying. Yes. If you can just make it so that names and server stuff and other little telling chat window, that kind of stuff, if all of that can just be coverable or removable, like maybe with a tick box or something, that's what these guys have been on about since day one, just so that they can stream it and put that game out there even more and get even more people exposed to it. That's really, you know, like a virus. Yay. Please make Rocket release standalone. Oh, wow. Yeah, because I have that kind of power. Jesus. I'm confident now that if we don't screw up from here out, we're going to make the game I always wanted to play. And isn't that the whole point of it? Like, I remember the... Oops. Sorry, guys. And isn't that the whole... I remember one of the first things you ever said about DayZ was that you stressed that it's not a game. It's actually a social experiment, and you wanted to make it as realistic as possible to sort of see how people would react to it. And I think that was actually the first thing that ever pulled me into it, because my biggest draw was I'm not a first-person shooter girl. I don't play those games. I'm not really into just, you know, PvP combat or anything like that. The draw for me towards DayZ back in the early days, which for me was June, is the fact that it felt so terrifying, so real, and if that keeps evolving, if you keep putting things like that in, that's just going to make me more and more addicted, and then you'll ruin my life. It'll be your fault.
Screen reader.
The quick meme.
I just posted it.
Oh, a quick meme. Inventory looks really dev. Like it's got like bright blue boxes and all sorts of weirdness. So in essence, Rocket, what you're saying is that the inventory looks like Minecraft. So I'm the same as well. I'm not really a big FPSI. It's all about the other stuff and the social stuff. Yeah, I agree. And I think probably for me the reason why I'm so enthralled by social experiments like that might have something to do with my education in English literature, and just, I've taken some really crazy courses. Like I took a Greek history course about revenge in literature, and how humans react to being wronged. And sometimes the hardest thing to do ever is to rise above. So to see that kind of thing, like, okay, what if someone kills your buddy for no reason in DayZ? How do you react? And is there going to be like a naturally occurring downfall to engaging in combat? Like if you die, you lose everything right now, but maybe there's more to it than that. Just think all those there's so much that could happen. It's really cool. And yes, I'm gonna let me just quickly clicky click all of the things. Oops. Yeah. And there's Matt, and I've got there he is. Boop. There we go. The inventory looks like shit right now, but the function is starting to be awesome. Well, that's really cool. I'd imagine that I know nothing about programming, honestly nothing, but I'd imagine that creating functions for things would be a lot harder than just adding skins. So I have no idea how long I get to keep you in here for, but I don't know when you and Matt are going to peace out, but I just want to quickly take a moment to say thank you so much for coming in here. Before you actually came in here, I was having a really geeky fangirl moment going, oh my god, Rocket retweeted my thing about the Oxford comma, and telling everybody how lame I was. So thank you so much for coming in and making it even worse. Yeah, that. I am highlighting this VOD, that's for sure. And thanks so much for always putting yourself out there to answer, questions that fans have. I know everybody's really impatient. Everybody wants to know this or that or the other, and you're probably bombarded 24 hours a day with questions. But the fact that you even take the time to go on Reddit, the fact that you even create polls, the fact that you tweet out things, that you reply to tweets, that you answer questions is insane. I can't think of very many other devs in any, in any studio, in any genre of gaming that typically take that time to do that. So I'm going to say that I have the ability to go on behalf of everyone, and thank you for that. That's really awesome. Really appreciate it. Everybody give a hoo-ah for Rocket. And for Matt, too. And his muffins. One of the reasons we are successful is because of those reasons. So we have to maintain the community support. This is a big thing I'm going to discuss. See, and that's exactly what I'm talking about, Rocket. There's so much that happens in this community. This community is less than a year old, and it's so amazing how much happens, how close everyone is, how helpful everyone is. I know you don't get a chance to come on the streams that often, so I'm just going to share a quick couple things that happen with you, that happen here with you. And what happens is, anytime I go into any chat, it doesn't matter which Twitch chat it is, but so many different DayZ chats, people are always asking, because there is no tutorial, there is no hand-holding in DayZ, and there's still new people coming into the game, and they'll come into chats and ask, well, what do I do about this? How do I fend off that? Where do I get more morphine? They have no idea. And the second that any question is asked, everyone comes to help them and answer any questions. And not just for the game, but anything else as well. Computer specs and having birds fly through windows into houses and be injured and then need to be taken care of. And then there's obviously me as well, my personal thing where I am now in the UK and here basically because of you and your game and the squad that I am now friends with. And I want to stay, and my visa is up, so I have to leave in a month. But because of this community, because everybody wanted me to stay here and be a part of this permanently, they have all chipped in and made it possible for me to come back. That's what, yeah, that's what this community does. They're great. Major. No, shut up, Andrew. So it's just like, it's so wicked. This really is the best community in the world. They're always giving away free games to each other. It's like, oh, you don't have this game and you haven't tried it? I'm going to go buy a copy and send it to you on Steam. And these people all met because of this game. It's mental to me. I still can't conceive of how this is even possible. It's so mental. So, and I know that you didn't necessarily like intend for that to happen, but somehow it's naturally evolved. And isn't that kind of weird that there's a game where a lot of it is every man for himself, and the brutality of DayZ creates a community where the players, like outside of the game, are all ridiculously nice to each other? Mental. You can't even describe how much it's changed your life. Yeah, I can't even understand. Like, your life must be completely different now, too. And you're going to Everest. You can actually manage to go to Everest now because of all this. That's so crazy. And I know you've kind of hinted that another game you want to do is another, like, something that would involve mountains and snow and dealing with the cold. And if and when that ever happens, I am super excited for that, obviously, as a Canadian and spending a lot of time on mountains. So, super, super cool. Chat is going so fast that I don't even get to ask people. I can't even like read questions to help people out. Oh, he said that on Twitter, Demario, that he would like to take Beans up Everest with him, but unfortunately the weight is like multiplied. So, or no, the oxygen makes it. The lack of oxygen makes it so that. How does it work?
Based on player legends.
That is driven by player legends. Whoa, you're doing that's so cool, Dean. Well, you heard it here first, guys, unless maybe you've said this before elsewhere. But maybe you have heard it here first, that he's working on a comic that is driven by player legends. That is really, really cool. Why do I have to leave, Sammy? Sam, I have to leave because I can only stay in this country for 6 months without an extended visa. So I'm going back to Canada to apply for that extended visa so that I can come back here permanently and be part of all this permanently. Yeah, you heard it here first. Keep it unannounced. I make no promises. It is said in this chat. The life and death of Mitch Connors. Nice, yeah. The Chernaris guy, Chronicles. That would be sweet. Oh no, I haven't announced it until now. Okay, I get what you mean. That's so cool. Are you artistic? Can you actually, are you drawing what are they called? The panes in the comic? Are you drawing them yourself, or are you just writing the story for it and collaborating with an artist to create the comic? You've hired some comic artists. Okay, cool. That's really neat. Is it going to be digital, or are you going to want to have it in print as well? Oh, and you're hiring a writer. Nice. Cool. Print, but what? Dun, dun, dun. That would be cool, Jenny, if you could find this comic in the game. Yeah. It would be cool, yeah, like just like you can find Grognak the Barbarian in Fallout 3. It would be cool if you could find Rocket's own personal comic in Ternars. That'd be sick. The key difference, the stories are based on player legends. That's really cool. So the story is driven by the players. I love stuff like that. Like, as a child of the 80s, I love the choose-your-own-adventure stuff, so that is really, really neat. Of course I bring up Fallout. How can I not? Plug for Nuka Break. Go watch it. Why don't I hit him up on Skype or TS? Well, that's kind of something... I don't usually ask for people's Skypes unless... I feel like that's kind of asking for like someone's personal phone number, and I don't do that unless they really want me to, so I'm going to be respectful. If Is the comic going to be one of those items, the collector's edition of the game that you mentioned ages ago but haven't said anything about since? Okay, so Slayer has a question about that. Hey, Midnight. Yeah, you should be moving to Georgia, but you haven't.